Hey everybody, I'm back with um I guess the surprise collective reading. I was kind of wanting to go about my day, have a day off of work today, and yeah, just kept getting the message that I should hop on here. It's been a little while. So I feel like the collective energy has um been a little unstable, it's been a little shaky, and yeah, there's some messages that need to come through. So, when I was taking up a deck or one of two decks that I'm going to be using, um, and just like shuffling a little bit just to, just mix up after having done some other readings with it this week, the same card fell out twice, and it's this card, Choice. Okay, and I think that this is for the world in general, but especially for those of us who've been awakening to a more spiritual path. Um, yeah, so we're going to find out a little bit more of what that's about. I had some crystals here charging the decks, and I felt the need to go within a particular color range. I'll just show them really quickly. Um, so here we have a golden rutilated quartz. Okay. Also have an imperial topaz. Those are both on the oracle deck that I'm going to be using. Okay, and that this choice card came out of. And we also have this spessartine garnet, which has some reflections of a goldenish tone to it as well. Um, Also some sorts of red, right? So that's kind of like more sacral chakra energy. So sacral and crown are being highlighted right now. I feel like we need to protect our crowns. We need to protect our peace, protect our minds. Um, yeah, and be grounded in what our choices are. So we're gonna get a little bit more into it. I'm going to be using Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, the new Infinity Mirrored Edition, to help figure out what we're talking about today. Okay, what is this choice about? What are we being called to pay attention to? I'm going to shift the camera down actually so you can see the cards as they're coming out. Okay. All right. So, Universal Father, Mother Earth, Deity of Time, angels, ancestors, and divine guides, we ask for your protection and guidance as we look at these messages, trying to figure out what we need to know with regard to this choice and how this is linked with our highest good. What do we need to know about this choice, about what's going on with this choice? Six of Wands. Choosing the path that will lead to victory, and victory in terms of all of humanity, right? And I think it's pretty poignant that this card also has a path Okay. And what else do we need to know as we figure out which path to take? What else do we need to know as we figure out which path we should take? Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so this would indicate that we need to be mindful of what we're planting, what we're investing in, what we're allowing to grow, really carefully examining what's in our lives, what's bearing fruit, what's not bearing fruit. Okay. And let's maybe get one more. Two more. And here we have the Page of Wands. This is brave and open-hearted and open-minded, curiosity, an adventurous spirit. And I think that this would speak to willingness to look down paths that are alternatives to what we have been doing so far. Okay? As a collective, as a society, and spiritually as well. I think that there are a lot of questions coming up uh, about what it is to practice spirituality from an open and honest place with good intentions. Okay. And with the final card being the Sun, that is a card of enlightenment. That's a card of happiness. That's a card of fulfillment. And that's a card of consistently moving toward what is light, what is illuminated. Okay. And this is also showing that the path will be well illuminated, taking the path that is clear, taking the path that is one of light. And trusting the guidance, even in moments when you need to kind of rest, being aware that you'll be taken down the right path, as long as you're mindful, very mindful of what you're investing in, and remaining open-minded with what you move toward. So be wary of people who say that things can only be done in one specific way. And let's get another card from this oracle deck here to close things out. Okay, actually, before they do that, I'm gonna read the. This deck has associated poems with each card instead of just a guidebook. Okay, so let me get into that really quickly. Hold on. Okay, so the card, the choice the associated poem there. When we choose something, we inevitably pass on something else. We can only know what the right road is after we have fully committed to its unfolding. We can view this as positive progression, a clear channel to focus our energies and intentions, or we can see it as a negative restriction. The perspective we choose can often be the most important decision we need to make. Okay, and speaking of perspective, I think it's interesting that the Page of Wands in this deck seems to be looking up for direction, right? And looking up toward the sun. And just quickly some other associations of the sun card. Okay, they have to do with joy, they have to do with radiance, vitality, and it also talks about, nothing being able to be hidden in the sun. So there's a lot that's going to be coming to light at this point, and there may be some things that we might not even be ready for. But I think this is talking about how complacency, neutrality is no longer an option, even in the ways that we interact with each other, um, the ways that we conduct ourselves. Okay, and even spiritually, for those who are following the path or those who choose to seek out spiritual guidance, being aware that there's a very big there's a gap between people who are doing it for themselves and people who are doing it for the highest good, and being aware of what we're investing in when we choose to follow one of these two types of people down a particular path. And let's get a closing card for this oracle. Hang on a second here. Closing card from this oracle for what the collective needs to know about the choice of this path. Closing card from this oracle for what the collective needs to know. Okay. This card says recharge. And it's interesting that this person is recharging on crystals here, or what seems to be a crystal formation. Okay, so looking at areas, I mean, this could have to do with being aware of where you might have an imbalance in terms of alignment. Okay, and I'll read the associated poem as well. The recharge card says, surrender all the doing now, the frantic running around, the need to be all things to everyone. Suspend any effort under the still and starry blanket of the night, and bathe yourself in a moonlit glow. Rest to receive life's generous gifts whose sweet touches can arrive more easily in the relaxed and open body. Lay down your thinking now, and be caressed by the healing energies of the earth. Mm-hmm. So this is talking about a choice that does have to be made in terms of stepping away from from a lot of the noise of what's going on. Even though that can seem counterintuitive, but stepping away from some of the urgency, um, because some of the urgency is where some of these supercharged emotions are coming from, and that's leading people to take leaders I'm talking about as well, like world leaders, to take some very rash actions. Okay, and in terms of resting and just being aware of what you're investing your time in, as was spoken about here in the Seven of Pentacles, um, resting and allowing yourself to heal and allowing yourself to be sort of carried to where you need to be in terms of enlightenment. Here you have this person in the on the sun card, like resting peacefully and trusting where they're being guided toward. Okay, so that is the collective reading for today. Thank you for joining me in this, and please do take that time to rest, to recharge, and that in itself, that in itself is a choice and is part of the choice that's going to lead us down um, a different path, one that we open ourselves up to in terms of exploring alternative ways of living to what we've been doing in the past, because it's clearly not working anymore. Okay, so we are moving towards our enlightenment, towards our joy, and in order to do that, we need to make space for it. So again, protecting your crown, protecting your peace, being grounded here in the healing energies of the earth. Okay, I'll reread the last part. Lay down your thinking now and be caressed by the healing energies of the earth. Take care, everyone.